Welcome to episode 10, and we're getting down to the wire here on the last few things of a show. And the last few things of a show can be pretty sad, so let's just, go ahead and get started with show week. Show weeks if you have 2 or 3 weeks of shows, or show months if your show runs on for months, or show years if your show runs on for years. I don't believe it would run on for years though if you're doing community theater. But anyways, my first thing is make sure you get a good rest, make sure you're sleeping at night, make sure you're not staying up on your phone, make sure you're getting enough rest so your body is prepared mentally and physically for a show, because they will drain the energy out of you. My second thing is make sure you have everything when you're leaving your house. Like, make sure you have your makeup, your hair curler, your costume pieces that you could, get home washed, just everything that you have to have. Don't leave anything, because then you're going to be, in trouble, or, something's not going to go right if you don't have everything. So make sure you're having everything when you're leaving your house, and, just be prepared. Be prepared. Preparation is key always. Caffeine. If you can't sleep well at night, or if you slept well at night and you're still tired, get caffeine. If you don't like coffee, bubblers are a good thing. Or Monsters aren't bad, but any energy drink will really work. But coffee is probably going to be your best bet, because coffee, it's good and all that, but it also has a really good amount of caffeine. But, if you're tired and you can't get through a show on natural energy, natural caffeine, gotta whip out the energy drinks and the coffee. I've had to do it before. I'm probably gonna have to do it in this upcoming show, because I have 2 school shows and then I have a night show in one day, and I'm just gonna be pure exhausted. But be on time for hair and makeup. While being prepared, you also need to be on time, so don't be running late, because we're on a tight schedule here. You gotta get that hair done, you gotta get that makeup done, you have to get your mic on, that costume get on, and, you also have to have mic checks, and, you can't be late for mic checks, because, mic checks are only a certain amount of time, because then they have to open doors. And while you're, waiting for that show and all that, you need to be stretching, because one time I did not stretch before a show, and I pulled something in my leg, and it hurt, and I thought I wasn't going to be able to get through the show, but, I got through. Just make sure you're stretching, not just your body, but also your voice, do a vocal warm-up, do a vocalizer, a vocalizer mist, have a peppermint and all that. Anything that can prepare your voice, because it's going to be a lot on your voice if you don't prepare, and then you also have to go through, singing really high notes or low notes, and we don't want, a ruined voice for a show. And also, stretch your body, do a, easel yoga stretch, or just something, so, when you're dancing, you don't pull anything like I did, because biggest mistake, not stretching before a show, pull something immediately after show started. It was the worst. It was really the worst. But just make sure you're prepared, make sure you're on time, make sure you're stretched. And this is the last thing, which this has been, flying by. Meet and greets. Sometimes they have meet and greets after shows, where you can go see your family, or just little kids that look up to you and admire you on that stage. Or you know what? You may even get a boy or girl's number there, because I certainly have, but I said no, because I was really embarrassed, because my whole family was there. But I feel bad for that kid now. But yeah, you can just meet people, take pictures with them, be really friendly, thank them for coming and, spending their money to watch the show. Be friendly. Don't, if you're a rude character, don't say as a rude character. Be friendly, be likable, all that. Have a good, first impressions, good reputations. I don't know, some people may even come and offer you a scholarship. Maybe that's the biggest what if ever, but what if? You never, ever know. Well, that was the last thing I had, and that seemed to fly by. But we're bumping 5 minutes, so I expected that. Thank you so much for listening again. I hope you go on to episode 7, because episode 7 is talking about shows, but it's talking about school shows. And school shows are probably the hardest thing you have to do during a show. The hardest thing. And I'll have to explain why in that episode. But episode 11 is starting in 3, 2, 1.